Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today. For those of you who do not know me or my firm, maybe I'll take this opportunity to give a small intro. Though I know some are existing students from my current cohort itself, so you might not need an intro, but for the benefit of everyone else. Okay, so here I am. I am Survi Kumar and I am the founder and chief mentor at the Dreamcatchers. We are a boutique education consulting firm based out of Mumbai, India, but have been fortunate enough to serve students and families pan India and also in the Middle East. Now, our mission is very simple and straightforward that we really want to assist students in realizing their dream of obtaining quality and best fit education. So, whatever we do, howsoever we execute, we always keep this mission in our heart, in our mind, and that's the way we go about, helping students realize their dream of obtaining quality and best fit education. In terms of our services, we have two broad verticals. One is career guidance and other is admission consultation. So as many of the students and parents would agree that there is plethora of choices. So basically we are dealing with problem of plenty when it comes to, subject choices, course choices, and even university and college choices. Now for grade ninth and 10th student, the primary need becomes that they really get the right stream, right subject selected, and it becomes more important with the international curriculum. But now when we are seeing changes coming on the national from the national education policy and even ICSE board, they have like subject choices starting from grade ninth itself. So the hand holding with the student really goes a long way in terms of them making the right choices. When we talk about students in grade 11th and 12th, then of course their need is that they shortlist right courses and create a reasonably fair college list for themselves, right? That's where our admission consultation services come, where we help students even if they are looking for international colleges or universities. We are there to help them. And even for Indian universities, I would say primarily new age universities where the process is more holistic, where we feel that hand holding and the right process can really result in a better outcome for the student. Of course, heavy lifting has to be done by the student, but if there is the right mentorship and guidance, it really gives the right result. As you can see, I've listed down a lot of services. I'll not go through each one, but it will help you understand how through these tailored and customized yet structured services, a student can finally realize their dream. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Now, before we get into the heart of our conversation today, which is talking to Richa Agarwal, who is from Bocconi University, wherein through this fireside chat, we'll try to uncover Bocconi for you and primarily undergraduate admissions. I just want to remind each of you with some basic housekeeping rules so that we can have an effective conversation. So please keep your mic muted all the time. In case if you have any question for Richa, you can put it in the Q&A or chat box. Or if you want to go live and ask her, more than welcome to do so. But just raise the virtual hand and I will unmute you so that you can ask your question. I'm more than confident that through the questions which I have curated for today, which has actually from Richa, you might not be knowing, but we actually created a registration form where we kept kind of an open question for the
Right.
students to really put what they would want to ask Bocconi University and you. So
Interesting.
we got some questions from there as well. But
Yeah,
of course, during the conversation, if students or parents, if they have more
absolutely.
questions,
Absolutely.
more than happy to take those. Okay, so without further ado, I will hand it over to Richa. Maybe Richa, you can start with brief intro about yourself, and then we can get into the curated questions. Sounds fine?
Awesome. Sure. Thank you so much, Surbi, for organizing this on a Saturday morning. And bigger shout out to boys and girls, parents who've taken out time from their weekend and joined us today. And we definitely hope to make this session extremely fruitful and make your time worth it. Quick introductions before we jump into Bocconi. My name is Richa. I am the Regional Director, South Asia for Bocconi University. I have over 15 years of experience in the education space. I've worked in my earlier stints, I've worked with IIM Bangalore, ISB Hyderabad. I have mentored over 10,000 students, professionals, chase their professional journey. So this has been my passion. I myself believe in lifelong learning. I keep reading, I keep studying. I never stopped studying even after marriage. So I'm a total evangelist when it comes to higher education. And of course, now taking a plunge into the international domain, I've been working with Bocconi for almost 4 years. And trust me, this has been absolutely eye opening. How I wish I had this information back then when I was a kid. I think I would have taken better decisions for my education space as well. I'm a graduate, on that note, I'm a graduate of Lady Shriram College. Then I moved on to do my master's at BITS Pilani, and then I've done my executive MBA from IIM Bangalore. So that's my academic pedigree. And yeah, I'm now here at Bocconi. And today in this session, your friend, your guide, your mentor, along with Surbi, giving you the right information about Europe, debunking a lot of myths about studying in Europe. And let's see if we are able to find the right match, if you're able to find the right match with Bocconi today. So, yeah, over to you, Surbi.
Thank you so much, Richa. I am really, really looking forward to our conversation. Of course, you come with a lot of experience and you know in and out of what Bocconi is. So, really
Always
looking
learning,
forward.
always learning. When every conversation with student, every time I shadow a student, every time I sit in the Bocconi classes, there's always something new that I come out with. I think it's a lifelong learning journey we're on.
Great. Okay, so with that first question to you,
Right.
uh, why should a student from India really consider studying in Italy and specifically in Milan? What do you think are the unique advantages if you can cover the ground from academic, personal, as well as professional angle? Now, when students have like a lot of options, so why Italy?
Absolutely. So if I have to ask everybody, when I say Milan or when I say Italy, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Fashion? We are the world capital for fashion. Um, Pizza, pasta, gelato ice creams. This is all that tiramisu dessert. This is all that we associate with Italy. Art and architecture lovers would know the world's largest cathedral, the Duomo, is in Milan. The second largest opera house is in Milan. The very famous painting, the Last Supper by Michelangelo, is in Milan. Italy is the only country which has the world's largest number of UNESCO sites, and Europe is the only country which has the largest number of UNESCO sites, 498 to be precise. Sports lover, football, always a tough between AC Milan, Inter Milan, Formula One racing, Ferrari, Maserati, car lovers basically. What else? Yes, there is so much of tourism happening, but the lesser known facts, or how many of us here actually know that Italy is the second largest GDP of EU. We are one of the founding members of EU. We're one of the G8 members, and that makes us very global economic hub. It is a very, very important business hub. Milan is also the investment banking hub for EU. So that is where Bocconi was established in 1902, more than 100 to 125 years back, to cater to this requirement of Europe. So all the students here today who are looking at business, finance, economics, politics, you're in the right space. You're absolutely having the location advantage, not just with respect to sports and fashion, but this is where the finance and the economics and the business action happens for EU. And we are literally, Italy is literally the Mediterranean gateway into the Europe mainland. So we are strategically also very well placed. It is a very, very important location that ways. And also, second, many of us do not know that the world's largest or the oldest operating university Most often than not, people give me university names from US and UK. But ladies and
Mhm.
gentlemen, it's actually University of Bologna, which is in Italy. It's the oldest
Okay.
operating university. So we're also extremely popular when it comes to education. We've seen famous learners like Galileo Galilei, right? We've seen Michelangelo. These are all great physicists. So this is what Italy has contributed to a lot of innovation that we now freely use and have access to. So we're also extremely popular when it comes to education. We're also extremely popular when it comes to affordable education. Europe in general, I think, is very, very popular for affordable education. So I think there are a lot of things that you have to keep in mind when you're deciding for higher education, which is
Correct.
credibility, yes, but also affordability. Both the
Mhm.
aspects have to be stitched together to take a very informed decision of which university, which country, and of course whether it caters to your interest, your stickiness to a particular career outcome. So I think these are some of the things that Italy has to offer to you, which makes it a great proposition.
Got it. Now, if we talk specifically about Bocconi, of course,
Yes.
like it has an established name when it comes to MBA education, and since last many years, it has been becoming a popular university for business, management, finance, and economics related
Right.
program, right? So, would want to understand from you, Richa, what truly differentiates the Bocconi academic experience from other leading universities within Europe.
Sure. So I think yes, Bocconi is ranked top 10 in the world when it comes to the domains that you are talking about, Surbi, which
Mhm.
is business, finance, economics. And I think one thing that really stands out is the amount of research that has gone into the curricula. Every
Mhm.
case study or every example that the professor is citing off is very relevant to now. They are not outdated. They are not speaking of business case studies which are about 50 years old or 100 years old. It is something which the organizations are working on currently, because these are also faculty members who are working as consultants or working as advisors or in their advisory boards in all of these mega large MNCs. So they have real time experience of what the industry wants, and therefore how the curriculum has to be designed so that the students are future ready. And this also reflects in our placement stats, by the way, not just
Okay.
because of the connects that our faculty members have, or not just because of the stellar alumni profile we have in over 125 years, because the students are so future ready. Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, Bain, or even Gucci, Chanel, Prada for our luxury management program, they
Mhm.
literally hire all our undergrad and master students, so much so that on or before the graduation day, 96% of our students, 96% of our cohort is already placed.
That's amazing stats.
And to also add to this, 88% of our students have get their offer letter during their internship itself. There is a mandatory 6 months internship which is embedded in the 3 year pedagogy. So which
Okay.
means first 2 years you're focusing on acquiring the skill sets. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why the Baconis focus on application of learning. That the
Mm-hmm.
moment you kick in the third year, students have to mandatorily go for a global experience immersion, and these are
Okay.
global experiences. Students go travel to UK, US, Hong Kong, Singapore, Middle East, the rest of the world for their internships itself. So they are
And how
not
long
limited
is
to it.
that?
The
How
entire
long?
semester, 6 months,
Entire semester. Okay.
paid
Okay.
internship.
And you're saying like pre-placement offers of like
Exactly.
86% of the batch is getting pre-placement offers.
During the internship itself, exactly.
Okay, okay. During these tough times, I would say when the job market is very hard, this is an amazing stats.
Exactly,
Like it's
exactly.
music to ears
Consistently, Bocconi has been able to manage this. During the pandemic, the stats remain unchanged. Even now that the West is going through facing a little bit of tailwinds and headwinds, the stats remain unchanged.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so much for that, Richa. Now I'll move to my next question, which is
Yep,
more around the academic program. So,
right.
we have seen that with many international universities, some programs are not open to international students, right? So, are there, maybe you can just call out which are truly open to international students, and what kind of new emerging or future focused courses Bocconi is, focusing on in terms of offering maybe to the current, in the current application cycle or in the upcoming ones?
Sure. So Bocconi is known for six core departments. These are the only departments we have at Bocconi. We've been
Mm-hmm.
speaking of business, finance, economics. We're extremely also popular with international politics, law, and
Mm-hmm.
over a decade back, we added the computer science, AI, data science, AI, ML kind of programs,
Okay.
which are super new age, very, very popular. The industry is asking for it, all the employers are asking for it. So these are the six core departments, and these departments offer close to about 10 to 12 programs. All of them,
Okay.
first of all, are taught in English. We don't have any Italian program at Bocconi, and
Excellent.
all the programs are open for international students. In
Okay.
fact, on the campus, we have close to 68% of international community, the non-Italian community. I guess we're the
Okay.
only international university across the globe which has a higher percentage, a higher international community as compared to the local domestic students.
Okay. Great.
So
Okay.
all the programs are open to international students. Students in India can apply to the entire list of programs that you can see on the website. All the programs.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you
So,
do not have to learn any language. They're absolutely taught in English. We are a private university, which means it gives us a lot of flexibility, unlike the public universities. All our faculty members are English speaking. Some of our faculty members, almost 40% of our faculty members, are also visiting faculties from different colleges that we have partnerships with. 300 odd something to be precise partnerships are there where you can
okay.
choose to do your student exchange and where we have a faculty exchange as well. So super international community at Bocconi.
Okay, okay. But when we talk about like Europe in general, right,
Right.
it's always good for students to know the local language. I think that opens the opportunity much more. But how have you seen at Bocconi, right, especially for international students? Of course, they're
Right.
not fluent with Italian as a language. Does it create
Right.
any kind of constraints in terms of getting local internships as such, or is it like
Understood.
okay, please go ahead.
Understood. This is a very common question. Even I was under this impression earlier when I had not done much research on Europe. So there are
Mm-hmm.
two aspects to it. In Europe,
Mm-hmm.
there are two kind of universities: public universities and private universities.
Hmm.
Public universities are the government funded. It's like how in India we have the HRD or the central or the state
Ah,
boards
correct.
and state colleges and schools. Very
Mm.
similarly, we have public universities which are completely taught in regional language. They are very
Mm-hmm.
affordable. The students will hardly, the tuition fee will hardly be about 1 or 2 lakhs per year. Super affordable, but they are
Mm-hmm.
completely subsidized by government, which means they're completely taught in the regional language. So students
Okay.
who are looking at public university, yes, therefore they feel that language is a requirement. However,
Okay.
at the private universities, these are completely individual entities. They have no say with respect to, of course, we have to abide by the government rules, but there's no interference in the decision making. And there, all the programs are taught in English. In fact, Europe is
Okay.
now increasingly promoting English taught universities, English taught programs. We've made a European University Consortium, which is a consortium of all universities teaching in English, having English programs. So we are trying to create more awareness and, we're trying to promote more of these programs. So this is the first part to understand which university you're applying to, public or private. The second part, the placement part, if you are living in a particular country, okay, within the university, you might not face any problem. I'm speaking of Bocconi or a private university now because we're an English taught campus, we're international campus, faculty members are super global in nature. However, if you walk into a local grocery store or if you walk into a local cafeteria, you just to strike a small conversation or to be able to order your food, it's important to know what a cheese or how many different type of cheeses are there, how many different type of pastas are there, or what is tomato called in Italian. Basic existential questions. But very recently, this March, when I was visiting campus for my annual strategy meet, there was a huge significant change. Almost every other restaurant that I walked into had a menu card in English. So they
Nice.
are
Okay.
also trying to upgrade themselves. They're also trying to be more inclusive. They're also trying to understand our challenges. So, which wasn't there when I visited 4 years back or 3 years back. They
Mm-hmm.
are also changing. However, we have Google Translation now on our phones. So if
Mm-hmm.
there's any issue, just open your Google Translator or ask your friend, hey, what does it mean? Is it veg or is it non-veg? So for those reasons, I feel you need it. Third
Okay.
aspect, students who are looking at international politics and
Mm-hmm.
students who are looking at pursuing law, these students, I would highly recommend that you should learn 2 to 3 languages, because these roles are super dynamic and you could be placed in any part of the world. And I'm not just talking of European language. You could also be placed as a diplomat in Southeast Asian country. So accordingly, they will ask you, there will be a mandate for a student to know a Southeast Asian language, a European language, an Asian language, and of course, English is common, so you can easily manage the West. So these two profiles, law and politics, their profile deals with regional documents, signing and learning and knowing regional documents. Therefore, the language is important. But none of my consulting guys, investment banking guys, luxury management guys, or the business related guys, whether they are working in Europe or if they are working in London, US, Middle East, Southeast Asia, language is not a requirement for these guys. Super language agnostic careers, these are. But again, for politics and law, you need the students should be mentally prepared what they're getting into.
Fair enough. And I think for international relations or
Yes,
politics, being multilingual as is
exactly.
really, really helps.
Exactly.
Okay, so I have received a question from Nikunj. Nikunj, one request because I think there was some issue with the settings. So I received that as a private message. Can you repost it? Now everyone would be able to see it, especially Richa. And as you also mentioned, once the university related sections are over, we will be actually talking about post study work options as well. So just if you can repost your question in the chat again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as we have seen with some of the universities, especially in the West, that there is some kind of flexibility in terms of choosing the course or going undeclared and then deciding, or even if you declare your major, you can change it. How is it with Bocconi? How flexible are the undergraduate courses? Can a student really change the course after enrolling, or is it like set in stone kind of thing?
Understood. So, first, just to clarify that at Bocconi, we don't have any liberal programs, so you cannot go undecided. You, like I said, we have only 6 core departments.
Yeah.
You need to know your game. Whether you're choosing management, eco, finance, politics, law, or computer science, AI, ML domain. These are very clear 6 domains which have very specific career outcomes, right? So you need to know that, okay, I love coding, I love AI, or
Mm-hmm.
international relations is my vibe. So you need to know what floats your boat. And accordingly, there are different programs which I'll be able to guide you. However, let's say you've got the offer letter for economics and management program, and immediately after the offer letter you speak with some alums or you speak with some current students and you feel that you like the luxury management program more. One step is that you can write to the admissions team even before the start of the program to check if there are any seats available in that program. If
Mm-hmm.
there are, the team will be able to move you at that stage itself. That is
Okay.
scenario one.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario two is you've got the program, you've got the offer letter for program X. You've done your research, everything looks fine. This is your vibe. You've decided to come to the campus, you're on the campus. And while you're studying, during your first semester, when you're going through the modules, maybe there's a disconnect and you feel, no, this is not what I'd expected of this program, and this is not what I actually wanted of this program. Maybe I like program Y. You can, after your first semester, reach out to the academics team then, because you are now on the campus, so admissions team will not be involved, academics team will get involved. You will reach
Mhm.
out to the academics team, you will let them know, you will give a proper explanation of what is the disconnect, what are your challenges, because they will first try to fix the challenges. But if they understand that there is a complete misfit of the persona and the program, then they will give you the GPA requirements, because every change of the program will require certain GPA requirements. So they let you know that you maintain the GPA of semester 1 and semester 2, and after the first year you will be allowed to make the program change. And now
Okay.
for this, if I can just share my slide, it has a list of programs, because there's something, that is a technical aspect which I want to explain,
Of
which is
course. Okay.
better if I show the screen. Let me know when my screen is available and then I'll start explaining this.
Yeah, I can see your screen, Richa.
Okay, so everybody, boys and girls, these are all the programs that we have at Bocconi. Okay, now look at, I'm drawing your attention to the first two boxes, which is called the Common Core. Now, students who are part of the Common Core, which is business management program or the luxury management, finance, economics, the first year is absolutely same. Therefore, it's called Common Core.
Okay.
And this is the structure of the Common Core. First year, all the programs that you see remains the same for all the Common Core programs. And then in the second year, specialized courses will kick in. And then in the third year, your elective courses or internships and final report, etc., will kick in. This is a classic structure. Now, students who are part of the Common Core will not have to repeat the first year because it's already same. You will only change your specializations in the second year. The
Yeah.
second case is, suppose a Common Core student moves into political science or a global law program or an artificial intelligence program. In that case, the academics team will let you know whether you have to repeat the entire year or whether you have to repeat some modules. But depending on the program, they will let you know. Okay, so change is possible. Totally depends on what is your program A, which is which program you are in currently, and which program you want to swim into, which is program B. If it is part of Common Core, you will not repeat the year, you will not have to take additional modules or take additional course. You will absolutely seamlessly move into second year. But if from program A to program B, both the programs are not part of Common Core, in that case, you will have to repeat the subjects or the modules or the semester, because without which you will not be able to pursue your specialized courses. When the core is missing, you will face a challenge when it comes to the specialized courses. I hope I was able to explain this, Surbhi.
Yeah, I think very well. But now, when we are on this slide, I just want you to also call out if there are any subject specific requirements, right? Say maybe
Okay,
like maths is a prerequisite for a specific
good
course or
question.
so.
Good
Yeah, so
question.
if you can just call that out while we are on
Got
this
it.
slide.
Got it. So on the website, it says that there is absolutely no subject requirement for any of
Hmm.
the courses at Bocconi. But boys and girls, given my experience and my conversation with students, any student who's looking at finance program or AI related programs, these two are very quantitative heavy. So if
Hmm.
maths is not your vibe, or if quantitative dealing with numbers is not something you're comfortable with, then you should not be looking at finance or AI related. They are very quant heavy. All the other programs are super flexible, not a problem. You all can choose a student who in 11th and 12th who chooses not to pursue maths can take all the programs. Keep in mind, finance and AI can get tricky because they're very quant heavy.
Okay. Management, they can still do without.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Oh,
Management, even economics, law, politics, of course, not a problem. Even the program which you see in the light blue box, which is management in computer science, that is a fantastic interdisciplinary program which has been introduced. You had asked me a question, new age programs. This is
yeah.
a program which we added 2, 3 years back. This is literally where we are saying, so we are, the industry is talking about AI plus X. Earlier, we have focused on core programs like engineering, manufacturing, marketing, etc. And then came AI, and a lot of people started focusing on just taking AI, computer science, data sciences. But in last 2 years, the World Economic Forum published a report where they mentioned that industries want core plus AI, and they call it as AIX. So we
Yeah,
therefore added that new age program, which is super interdisciplinary in nature, which is management at the core, and we've layered it up with AI. So that is
yeah.
AIX program, which is becoming very popular. So much so that this year we are adding a new batch. So earlier there was only one section, if I have to say, for a lack of a better word or an easier word. So one section, now we are going to have two sections, two batches.
Great. I think this sounds amazing because you pointed a very good thing, which is AI plus X. So the world is moving towards application of AI. So that
Yes,
X is your domain expertise, right?
exactly.
It could be
Right.
from a skill set standpoint in terms
Exactly.
of management or any other domain. So
Exactly.
I think this is a great course, and you are saying that you're adding a new batch. It itself indicates
Yes.
that there is a huge demand for
Demand,
it.
yes. And just to add, also within economics, we have economics and data sciences. Again,
Mhm.
same blend of economics at the core and then it layering it up with AI there again.
Makes sense. Absolutely. Okay, now Richa, if
Okay,
you can
I'll
touch
stop
upon
sharing. Yep.
if you
Perfect.
can
Sorry.
if you can really touch upon the admission process and
Right.
what are different pieces of application, and also simultaneously if you can talk about how the admissions team is really evaluating the entire application from an Indian applicant.
Sure, sure. Surbhi, I think I will go back to my slides again because I think
Okay.
I have put together this information so that I don't miss out. And we've discussed this, the 3 years. Now let's look at the application process. So
Okay.
at Bocconi, the entire selection process is divided into two stages. The first one is your academic transcripts, which is 10th transcript, third to last, and the 11th transcript, which is second to last. Only
Mm.
these two documents. I don't need predicted grades. I don't need ninth grade marks. There is absolutely nothing pertaining to 12th that I need. Just 10th and 11th. And this will attribute to 45% of your application weightage. The second one, the most important one, the deal breaker, the game changer, 55% weightage is given to an aptitude test. Aptitude test, students have three options: SAT, ACT, or Bocconi's online test. Students can choose any one. If students have already taken SAT, ACT, but are not happy with the scores, they can absolutely pivot, change the gears, look at Bocconi test, and take the Bocconi test as well. Stay in touch with us. We'll be able to guide you which is a better score, which strengthens your profile, which builds a stronger profile for you, and we'll upload that document. So, literally, these two stages only for Bocconi: academic transcripts, which is school transcripts, and the aptitude test. Now let's look at what the test is all about. So it's very similar to SAT if I have to say. The
Mhm.
advantage is that it's an online test which is conducted every day. So students can schedule the test basis their convenience, basis their
Mhm.
professional and personal calendar. You can schedule your test date. It's 75 minutes, 50 questions. It has a standard maths, English language, English comprehension, which is, and the third one is logical reasoning. So very similar. 20 maths, 20 English, and about 10 questions around logical reasoning. So that's the structure. 1 mark for every correct answer, and there's negative marking as well. The test is priced at 60 euros, not very expensive. And a student can take four attempts, four tests in 1 year. So if you've taken the first attempt, you're not happy with the score, you can schedule another one, third and fourth. And whichever is your best score, you can upload that one. It doesn't have to be the most recent one, or we are not going to be sort of looking into all your attempts and judging you. This portal, the testing portal, is completely separate from the application portal. Students will upload whichever transcript they are comfortable with. So that's the testing platform. How do you prepare for the test? Two options again. Students can refer to the SAT Princeton review books, or we have a dedicated mobile app. On your screen, you
That's
can
okay.
see the logo. It's called The Faculty.
Faculty.
You can
Yeah.
take a screenshot of this. You can download the mobile app. The QR code will help you take you to the Play Store. It's a completely free resource app. There are free questions, section wise questions, mock question papers. There's nothing that you have to pay here, and you can absolutely practice from this. I think, given my experience, students have shared that within 1 month, you'll be able to complete this entire courseware. If you still have time, if you still want to practice more, you can always then additionally refer to the SAT books. A combination of both always helps. Students have really benefited in the past with this. So, this is about the preparation of the test. Now,
Mhm.
let's look at when do we apply? How do we apply is what we've covered. Now let's look at how when do we apply. So I call it, it's just my way of teaching or making students understand. I call it as a 1, 2, 3 of Bocconi, not 101, but 1, 2, 3. So we have only one intake, which is every September at Bocconi. We don't have multiple intakes. There's only one intake for Bocconi. For one intake of Bocconi, you have two deadlines. Early deadline, which is every September, the dates are on your screen. The second one is a winter session, which is Jan. From this year, we are no more going to be offering the third deadline. Up until last year, we had three, but not anymore, only two. So, one intake, two deadlines, and three documents: 10th mark sheet, 11th mark sheet, and the aptitude test report. So, it's the 1, 2, 3 of Bocconi.
I think that's a very, very easy way to remember. So thank you so much for simplifying it for students, Richa. Truly
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Pleasure. And just to summarize, unlike US and UK, we don't have Common App or UCAS. In
Mhm.
Europe, every university has their dedicated university site. So you need to go to their respective websites. For us, it's our own application website. It's called Apply to Bocconi. Or you could just Google Bocconi application portal. If you still don't get the link, just WhatsApp me. I'll send you the link. Every student will upload the three documents, will submit it on time. Bocconi is super sacrosanct when it comes to deadlines, no
Always, yeah.
extensions granted. And students can choose any four different programs. I showed all the programs. Students can choose any four programs. Your most preferred program should be program number one, then two, three, four. Advantage is it's your safety net. If God
Mm.
forbid you miss the cutoff of the first program, the system will by default look at the second, third, and fourth. So it's your great way of diversifying your risk and also, applying to different programs. If you're not very sure whether I like economics or maths or finance, you can apply to all of them. 100 euros is the application fee. At Bocconi, it's just our way of giving all the students a level playing field. So, just to be transparent and just to be super unified, we don't offer any application fee waiver. Whether it is
Okay.
the test fee waiver or whether it is the application fee waiver, there are no waivers. It's just our little way of ensuring that every student gets equal opportunity. And to reiterate, no essays, no LORs, no resume. What did I forget? No predicted
Interviews.
grades. Yes, no language transcript, no interview process, no nothing. Just
Mm.
1, 2, 3. One intake, two deadlines, three documents to be uploaded. And that's Bocconi's entire application process.
Great. I think this is one of the most straightforward and simplest application process I've seen because applications are becoming more and more
Intense and
complicated
yes, because
for an undergrad
at
student.
Bocconi, you had also asked me a question that what is it that Bocconi is looking at? Definitely, we're looking at super dynamic students, but we're actually looking at the application stage. We're first looking at the academic pedigree, because once the students have entrusted us with those marks, then on the campus, there's Milan Fashion Week happening, there's Winter Olympics happening, there's internship happening. There are about 90 different events happening in 1 month. There are also exams happening. There's also library happening, 9 to 6 classroom happening, and we have a mandatory 85% attendance. So that's how your typical day looks like. So of course, you have to be multitasking. You have to be good with time management. You have to be dynamic. But if you're not good with your concepts and academic excellence, you will start failing at multiple levels because you won't be able to catch up with the pace. So
So,
that's with that ethos and with that principle in mind, we've reduced the entire, submissions. We've just focusing on the academic part. And once the students come on the campus, I have 130 clubs. I have internships starting from first year itself. So students get involved in all of those activities where all their earlier experience and earlier profile building helps, because then they have your resume ready, they can pitch properly, they can face the employers and the recruiters confidently. Then it's just a launch pad, then they take off from there.
great. So now when you have given us a glimpse of the, selection process, and
Right.
it's very, very academically driven in terms of, meeting certain threshold. So can you talk
Yes.
about, if at all, there are any course-wise, any kind of threshold in terms of SAT scores or Bocconi
Right.
scores and
Right.
even academic school grades per se? Any range? I think
Yes.
that would help the students here to be mentally prepared that what
Sure.
kind of, academic grade they would need to really target to get into book.
Absolutely. No, I think that's a very important question. So yes, specific domains, specific subjects have higher cutoffs. So at Bocconi, anything pertaining to management, economics, finance, and computer science. These four departments have the most competitive programs. So your SAT scores should be 1480 and above necessarily. This year's average has been 1470. So please expect that in the coming year, which is this academic cycle, there is only going to be an increase of 5 to 10 units, right? The averages only go up every year, each year. So please target 1480 and above if you're looking at eco, business, finance, computer science, law, and international politics. These programs have relatively relaxed thresholds. For SAT, you can look at a 1420 and above for politics and law. For
Mhm.
Bocconi test, again, for the core programs or the four domains, the Bocconi test threshold is 38 and above. But politics and law, again, Bocconi test 32, 35, that's a good range to be in.
Okay.
That's the range where I've seen getting offer letters in this year as well. For
Okay.
academics, 10th and 11th, for the first core four departments, definitely 8.8 GPA and above. How
Okay.
do we calculate GPA? I'll talk next after this.
Mm.
8.8 and above. And for
Mm.
again, politics and law can be 8, 8.5. That range is doable. How do I
Okay.
calculate a GPA? Because I'll have an IB, I'll have a Cambridge. Of course, ICSE and CBSE students get their the final marks maybe in percentage, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you're applying to Bocconi, within the application form, there is a GPA calculator. Every student, whether IB, Cambridge, State Board, ICSE, CBSE, American Board, French Board, there are over 100 boards that we get students from, have to mandatorily select their curricula, enter the subjects, enter the grading mechanism, and the calculator will give you a GPA out of 10. That GPA is what we are referring to, which is 8.8 or 8.5, and this is mandatory. This is also a best way of creating a level playing field for all students, because students also ask me that, ma'am, will IB get a advantage, or will CBSE, ICSE students not get selected because we're not coming from international curricula? Nothing like that. All the students are treated equally, and that GPA calculator will ultimately tell us that students have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever GPA. So we don't know whether the student is IB or Cambridge, we're just looking at the GPA. So it's
Okay.
super unified. It's the best level playing field again that we've done for students coming from different backgrounds.
Okay. Okay. And students, like if you have any questions, again, this is a reminder, just put it in the chat box and we'll come to Nikunj's question in a maybe in a short while.
Sure.
Now, Richa, because see, education is becoming very, very expensive, whether we talk about India or
Right.
international. But when
Right.
we talk about, global education,
Right.
uh, as is Indian currency is getting weaker day by day. But tell us more about the tuition fees, and
Sure.
also even Hitanshi, I was going to ask this as well, the scholarship aspect as well as any kind of
Good.
financial aid. So if you can touch upon tuition fees to start with, scholarship, financial aid, and other elements of cost of attendance, which should
Yes.
not be ignored because that also
Right.
makes a major chunk
Of
of
course.
studying abroad as such.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tuition fee for all the programs at Bocconi is at the same price. It's 17,000 euros per year. Any
Mm.
program that you choose at Bocconi, undergrad program, it's a standard 17,000 euros. On top of this, you should add an additional 10,000 euros for your living, which is hostel, food, etc. This is a ballpark amount which the students have stated and which the embassy also mandates and advises students to be prepared and the families to be prepared with. On top of this, you can take additional 1,000 euros for, your round trip flights, a visa process, and any documentation when you're doing your visa work, etc. So I think 27 to 28 lakhs per year is what I'm tentatively looking at into 3 years. So 27 into 3, which is about roughly about 85 lakhs to tops. Take
Mm.
additional 1 2 lakhs. Maybe a student wants to do a 1 BHK and doesn't want to live in a twin sharing, then the cost will go up. So
True.
just 80 to 85 lakhs is the range that you can look at depending on the lifestyle and the spending habit of the child.
Okay, great. So, Krishna has posed a question around university hostels, and I would actually ask my question because that's an elaborate one and would cover Krishna's
Okay.
question as well. So,
Okay.
what should students really expect in terms of accommodation as such? So, do you have on-campus accommodation, or and if that's there, are those like mandatory accommodations for all years? How is it? And
Got it.
maybe also touch upon, the hostel fees or facilities as well.
Got it. Got it. Sure. So, but before I move into the housing part, I will complete the second part of your earlier question, which is the scholarships.
Yeah.
So there are two categories of scholarships that we have. The first one is, hold on to the lady, I forget the name of the student who asked me this question. The merit,
Hitanshi.
Hitanshi, the merit scholarship is only for female students, which ranges from 40 to 100% scholarships. The category or the requirement is simple: international students, women students with high academic pedigree or high academic profile. These students are absolutely eligible, and very large number of scholarships that we are looking at. Literally 35% of my cohort gets the scholarship because at Bocconi we have about 50-55% of female strength, literally 1 to 1 ratio, and 35% of my students get any scholarship, and whether it is merit scholarship or I see a lot of thumbs up going on there, or the
No,
need based.
this would be the highlight of the session, I'll tell you.
Yes. So that's a fantastic thing. That's our way of promoting female leadership or women leadership at Bocconi. We're very aggressive about it. We want more and more international female students to be applying, and this is our way of encouraging them. The second category, which is open to all. So, boys, don't be disappointed. This is the need-based scholarship. This is awarded by the government. And this is
Mhm.
super binary in nature, which is either you get it or you don't get it. So it's either nothing or it's either a full ride. The government takes care even of your hostel fees, your food. It gives you monthly stipend to take care of your living expenses within the country or within the Schengen region. So that's called the ISU scholarship. That's a need-based scholarship. It's a full ride scholarship awarded by the government. Ballpark, if the family income is in the range of 32 lakhs per annum, be rest assured that you will get this scholarship. So that's the need-based scholarship. So two categories: merit scholarship for all my lovely female students joining us today, ranges from 40 to 100%. So focus on your marks. Make sure you kick that ball out of the park. And the second one is a need-based scholarship, which is open to all the students. And that is a financial need-based and good space to be in would be nothing to do with your marks. It's just the family financial requirement. 30 to 32 lakhs is what we have seen is where the students get. So that's the scholarship part of it. Moving to the housing part again, at Bocconi, we have seven owned residencies. You need to first understand the lay of land. We're in an urban campus, we're in the heart of the city. If you open the Google map of Milan and you just type the Duomo, the largest cathedral of the world, the Duomo, it's the heart of Milan, it's in the city center. We are 10 minutes walking distance from Duomo. We are in the city center. We are a 90-acre sprawling campus. We're not a vertical campus. We're not a corporate office. We're a sprawling campus with over 20,000 students with 70% international diversity, with about 100, 200 faculty members, and with a lot of research associates, exchange students. It's bustling. And within the radius of 2 kilometers, I have five universities, the design universities like NABA, Domus, etc. So it's literally like you will only see students on the street. We have seven in and around the campus. We have seven owned residencies. And the good news is, after the Winter Olympics this March, that entire property has been leased to Bocconi. We've taken the contract, and that facility also now belongs to us, which is now it is for Bocconi students. So that entire
Mm-hmm.
facility of sports and this and that, it's super new age again because it's recently constructed this March. So we have totally eight residencies now. With that, we can accommodate all first year international students, or let me put it this way: housing is only for international students, not Italian
Okay.
students. So
Okay.
with this new addition, we can now guarantee housing for all first year international students. That said, it is not mandatory. If you are able
Okay.
to find a cheaper apartment or a cheaper hostel, which might be just right next to the Bocconi studio, which is highly possible because Bocconi apartments or Bocconi studios are slightly more premium because they're completely managed by Bocconi, and every facility is part of it: housekeeping, security, etc., students, laundry, etc. So it's already there, all of that. But when you're moving into an apartment, you will have to possibly manage all of that or whatever, or share it with your flatmates. So it's optional. If you find a cheaper option outside, you can choose not to book the Bocconi residencies. Not a
Mm-hmm.
problem. However, my suggestion or my advice to you would be, since you're new to the country, or maybe it could be your first visit to Italy or Europe, please go
Mm-hmm.
for the Bocconi housing, maybe the first semester. And then
Mm-hmm.
once you have spent 6 months in the country, you understand the city pretty well. Then maybe in the second year, don't renew your contract with Bocconi, and then you can move out and take the private apartment. But yeah, choice is yours. There's no
No,
mandate.
that's a very practical suggestion, and I've seen students doing that more
Yes,
often as such,
yes.
initially because you don't know the place, right? So it will take some
Yeah,
time to get comfortable.
exactly. So, but yeah, ultimately, choice is yours, and we're always there to help you.
Great. Thank you so much, Richa. I have few more questions, and I know we are drawing towards 12:30, but what I'll do, I'll jump to Nikun's question because I
Yeah.
think he was the first one to ask the
Yes,
question, and
let's take his
we still
question. Yes.
have him waiting. So it is about the post-study work opportunities. And you also mentioned about the 96% placement
Placement.
stats, right? So his question is now, could you speak about career opportunities after the undergrad courses in Italy? Maybe you can touch upon the job roles which maybe the fresh graduates are getting from Bocconi across different courses. It
Yeah,
might
sure.
be a long answer, but yeah, we are here to hear you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, different programs have different career outcomes. Our finance courses are hardcore for students who are interested in investment banking, mutual funds, hedge funds, private equity firms, merger acquisitions, or even fintech space. So, if
Mhm.
you are interested in these domains, finance is your go to program. Students who are interested in business consulting, entrepreneurship, or specific domains like HR, supply chain, operations, then business management programs are your go to programs. If you are somebody who likes economics, econometrics, loves to deal with data, loves to analyze a lot of policy or impact, market trends, fluctuations, helps in the decision making, likes to wear the strategy hat, then economics is your go-to domain, because a lot of organizations recruit the economics consulting guys again there. If your interest is international relations, UN related roles, policy making, policy analysis, then I'm looking at international politics and governance program. And if your interest is corporate law, financial laws, constitutional laws, then you're looking at my global law program. So all these programs have different career outcomes, and these are some of these whatever career options that I gave you are the typical undergrad students signing up after graduating from these different domains. These placements happen not just in Italy, not just in Europe, but at a global level. Close to 65% of my students are placed outside of Italy. Who wants to
Okay.
be in Italy? Typically, startup owners who've seeded their startup at the university and they've got the funding, local funding, they are the ones who stay back. Luxury management guys, either Milan or France, of course.
Mm. Mhm.
Luxury management guys stay back. Marketing guys stay back. Also, some of the investment banking guys stay back. And then, of
Okay.
course, depending on your posting, because you and might recruit the international politics, might is a wrong word. They will recruit from the international politics program. You may not get Italy as your posting. You can be in any part of the world. But some of my law students or politics, international relations students also tend to get posted here in Italy because they've spent 2 3 years, so they understand the city. And as a young youth and a young fresh of perspective, these students are hired. So these are some people who want to stay back in Italy or Milan. Most of my consulting guys are in US, north of Europe, which is Netherlands, Brussels, Middle East. Some are in
Mhm.
Singapore. Finance guys, my biggest recruiter is London. Goldman Sachs, the headquarters in London, is recruited in London, Germany. Fintech is very popular in Germany. And Hong Kong, Singapore is again super loaded with my finance guys. So these are very spread out depending on what program you've taken. Within program, for example, for finance, fintech guys are mostly concentrated in Germany, but the overall investment banking guys are in London or Singapore, Hong Kong regions. So within the
Okay.
program, depending on what program combinations, what subject combinations you're choosing, accordingly the career team will guide you. Now,
Mm.
visa, you guys don't have to worry because it's completely sponsored by the organization. When the organization is recruiting you, it is given that they will take care of your visa, sponsorship, documents, etc. You just have to produce all the documents on time, abide by the entire process, follow the timelines, and report on the day that they have given you. They'll give you good 2 to 3 months to work on your documentation. You will complete your exams by June. June is when the Bocconi exams get over. July, August, 2 months holiday for all the students every year after the exams. So you will get 3 months, July, August, September, to work on all the documentation. Typically, the first Monday of October is where all the joining happens for the corporates,
Okay.
for all the new recruits. So you don't have to worry about that. That's already negotiated. The career services team, we have a dedicated career services team. When the recruiter is recruiting you, it is understood that they will take care of your visa because it's
Okay.
the
And
organization's decision to place you within in Europe, within London, sending you to Hong Kong, Singapore. So it's their prerogative. It's the obligation is on their end to take care of that.
okay. And if a student is like kind of willing to be in Italy
Okay,
specifically,
yes.
what kind of duration legally they can be there? Of course, they'll be sponsored
Totally depends on the organization. Maybe the organization issues you the business visa because right now when you go on a student Schengen
student
visa,
visa. Mm,
and then it
correct.
gets converted into your work visa, the business
Yes.
Schengen visa.
Mm.
Maybe the organization does it for 3 years, and then they feel that they have to retain you for the project within Italy, then again further renew it. So they'll keep renewing it. If you want
Okay.
to stay in Italy, they'll keep renewing it for Schengen. If you want to change the country, then accordingly the process for that particular visa process will get initiated.
Okay, and that's really really helpful to know, especially like as you mentioned for finance or
Yep,
I would rather say luxury management and fashion. That's
yep,
where their preference would be to be in the
yep.
heart of the fashion industry. And
Exactly. France and Italy, Milan, yep, absolutely.
okay, so Richa, we have exceeded by 2 minutes or so. So
Not a
maybe,
problem.
and I think from my end, except one question, everything got covered through your responses. But maybe since you are here, and if you have like few more minutes, then
Yes,
again going
no
back.
worries. You can take two, three more questions, not a problem.
Okay, okay, great. So then you have seen so many application cycles, right?
Right.
Every time I have an admission officer or university rep on our admission insight session, and
Yes.
because we have students here, so I want from the team itself who is like evaluating the applications to let the student know if they have seen any kind of mistakes occurring in regularly and how they can be really, really cognizant of that and avoid it. In Bocconi's case, the application process is very, very straightforward and very, very, dependent upon the academic performance. But if at all you have seen any kind of mistakes done by applications from Indian students itself, then maybe you can just send a line of caution here.
Sure. So definitely the error or the mistakes have gone down drastically in last 2 years, ever since we have removed the theoretical or the subject part of it, like the essays, LORs, resumes. So there are no more typos and there are no more grammatical issues. Earlier we used to see that instead of Bocconi, it's written LSE or it's written Imperial. So, you know, we understand that the essay and the draft and the narrative remains the same, but in last 2 years all of that is gone. The one mistake that students do or they don't understand when I'm explaining to them is, and I would like to reiterate, is that boys and girls, when you're applying to Bocconi, the SAT score or the test score has to go along with the application. You will
Mm.
not be able to submit your application without the score. Even this year, I had two to three students who, for whatever reason, misunderstood the narrative and they had not taken the test. And on the last day of the submission, they're like, "Ma'am, but I don't have the test. So can I not submit?" And I said, "No, you cannot submit." So you need to have the test score before you submit the application. You will not be allowed to submit the application without the test. The team is, because the competition is so high, even if you send an email to the team saying that, "Can I get an extension?" The team will tell you that this is the templated answer, that if the test, for example, if the deadline is 1st of June, if the test is not taken before 1st of June, they will nullify your application. So you cannot submit on 1st of June uploading a
Okay.
blank document and
Mm.
then email them a test report saying that the test was taken, because often the test date is mentioned. If the test date is after the deadline, they will tell you to come in the next deadline, in the next round of application.
Okay, so they'll not get any kind of extension or
Exactly.
so.
Exactly. So
Okay.
please remember, when I say that three documents are mandatory, I know 10th and 11th will not be a problem because that is done and dusted. You already have those documents. Bocconi will not give you any extension on the submission of the test score. And please do remember that it has to go, the test score has to go along with the application. You cannot submit the application first and then
Mm-hmm.
later on send the test report. Bocconi will not accept that.
Okay, I think that was the very important point.
Yes.
Uh, this is something because many a times students like they do submit
Yes.
scores after putting in the application as such. I have
Yes.
received two questions from Hitanshi.
Yeah.
Hitanshi, if you would want to go live and
Yeah,
ask the
absolutely,
question,
Itanshi.
then please,
Go
I would
ahead.
rather encourage that you go ahead and ask your questions live.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. So, I want to
Likewise.
know about the Bocconi and Hack Joint Dual program. What is the program all about and something in detail about it?
I'm sorry, I missed your voice was a bit spotty. Which program did you ask?
The Bocconi and Hack joint program, joint dual program.
Okay, understood. The HEC Paris program, the international politics.
Yes, yeah.
Understood. Okay. So again, that's an international politics program in partnership with HEC Paris. Here, 1.5 years you're at Bocconi University, and then the rest 1.5 years you're at HEC Paris. At the end of 3 years, you get two bachelor degrees. One bachelor degree from Bocconi University, the other bachelor's degree from HEC Paris. How is it different from the regular 3 year program at Bocconi? This is again a classic example of interdisciplinary track. This program is politics with analytics. So students who love politics, but students who are also comfortable with data crunching, making sense of policy making, analyzing political campaigns. So this is the politics with analytics track. So you will learn the politics side of thing at Bocconi and the analytics side of it at HEC. So you get it's a good core with AI. That's the difference between, and the 3 year program at Bocconi is just politics without any data, without any analytics. And this one is politics with analysis. So that's the difference. And students can apply to both. You can apply to both the programs.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
Okay, there is another question from Krishna. Krishna, do you want to go live and ask it? Okay, let me read out on his.
Ma-
Yeah, go ahead, Krishna.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that if we want to check out the program specific cutoffs, so where can we check out? So we could apply according to our marks, how much we get.
On the website, this information will not be freely available. It's something that the admissions team will not publish, but Surabhi and I will be able to guide you. So I think more specifically for your case, maybe Surabhi, maybe later down the week, we can do another one-to-one session with the student, understand what are his program requirements, and then accordingly, I can, basis my experience of this year's cutoff, I can let you know what will float your boat for this year. We can do that.
Great, great. And Krishna, I'll just put a note here that see, uh, what you said that according to your marks you would apply. I would rather suggest that let's think of what are your aspirations, what are your goals, and accordingly you choose the course, right? I would not encourage you to do it otherwise. Of course, Bocconi is a great university, no doubt about it, but your course choice should be your preference as well. So
Your
keep that
passion.
in mind. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So with
Thank
that,
you, ma'am.
you're welcome. With that, thank you, Richa. I was about to ask for that. So maybe you guys, all of the students and parents, you can take a note of Richa's contact details. Of course, you have the Dreamcatcher's contact details already, and you can shoot her questions, your questions to her or me. We would be happy to assist you. And with that, I think, Richa, we can close the conversation for today unless you have anything additional to add to which we may not have covered through our questions or through audience's questions as such.
No, I think, thank you, Surbi. That was a fantastic lineup of questions. Even without the slides, I think I was successful in giving you the flavor of what Bocconi is and what we have to offer to our students. I think I've shared all the right and the important pointers here today. So remember the 3-2-1 policy of Bocconi. Remember that the Bocconi test has to, or the application, the aptitude test has to go along with the application. And remember to be mindful of the deadlines. Do not miss the deadlines. I'm reiterating, Bocconi does not give any extensions. So even if you've missed the deadline by one day, maybe, or if even if it's few hours, if there is a technical issue, yes, not a problem, the team will understand and we will work on it. But if you've completely missed the deadline by a day or so, the team will ask you to move on to the next deadline. So please be careful, read the website. I have shown the deadlines even today. Stay in touch with Surbhi or me, and start working on your application today. Utilize your summer break working on the aptitude test if you've not already done that. Now is the time before you jump on to your 12th grade and before you get busy with your board preparation. Please utilize your summer break. This is an ideal time to invest in this preparation. Your target should be that by August end, you should have your first attempt ready,
Correct.
so that we go ahead and build your application, submit your application in round one itself. Always beneficial, maximum housing, maximum scholarships across universities, not just Bocconi, across universities is always offered in the first round because that's the first round,
Mhm.
right? We literally start from zero, ground zero, and then we build up. So keep the deadlines in mind, utilize your time well, and all the best for any of your and all of your upcoming exams. Stay in touch. We're always around to help you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richa, and thank you, everyone, for joining on
Absolutely.
Saturday. Yeah, and I believe this would be a helpful session. We at the Dreamcatchers will continue to bring more and more great institutions like Bocconi to our Admission Insight session. And we also host career awareness sessions, and these sessions are free of cost because this is our way to give back to the student community. So please go and subscribe to our different social media I would say channels. We have like a very basic presence there, but that's where we kind of announce our upcoming events. So that's it from my side. Any questions and anything which you would want to ask or need any kind of hand holding, we are there to help. And thank you, of course, Richa, for your time today.
Pleasure, Surbi. Thank you so much for putting this together. And once again, thank you everybody for joining us on a Saturday morning. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye.